I've been trading the Dark Nova on a few larger accounts, but I wanted to see how it would perform on a relatively small account. So today I'll be placing it onto a $200 live account, but I'm not going to trade all three of the recommended currency pairs. What I'm going to do is analyze the demo account where it's trading and select the best performing asset. Stay tuned because what I'll show you can be applied to any account where you're trading more than one asset or EA. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's first take a look at the page where the robot is, the Dark Nova, and that is the Dark EAs, and we have covered it in a few videos. Let's take a quick look at the Dark Nova, and what we can see is that the recommended pairs are the Aussie CAD, the Aussie New Zealand, and the New Zealand CAD. Now, if we go down a little bit further, there is a link to the developer's track record, and right here he is trading all three pairs, and this is a live account. What we can see is that he has a very, very good balanced line. Now there are a few drawdowns, nothing too significant if you compare it to the overall growth, which is getting close to 400% at the moment. And the maximum drawdown we can see here was 25%. And I guess that would have been probably this one here. This looks like the biggest one here. But it has been growing steadily and it has always recovered from the drawdowns. Now let's go back to the page quickly. And what we can see is that the Dark Nova is a little bit more expensive than the other EAs from the same developer. The Dark Nova sells for $500. Now that is for 5 flexible licenses. If you want it for 10 flexible licenses, the price is $699. And if we look at the expert advisors that we have here, we'll see that we've got the Dark Nova, the Dark Algo, the Dark Titan, and the Dark Gold. Those are the paid EAs. And then there's a whole lot of free EAs that you can download from the website as well. Now I've reviewed and traded with all of these robots, and I continue to try new things with them. For example, in the next video, we'll include a free EA, but it'll be trading a very interesting asset. If you don't want to miss that, simply hit the subscribe button and be sure to enable notifications so you don't miss it as soon as it's dropped. Okay, so let's take a look at our demo account where we have it trading on all three of the recommended pairs. And you can see that we've got it on the Aussie CAD, the Aussie New Zealand, and the New Zealand CAD. Now you can see that we've had a lot of trades. Most of them have been profitable. Now it is a grid system, so what you'll see is that there are times when it does increase the lot size, for example, these 3 trades here. But overall, it does still close on a profit, and this is really not aggressive at all. We'll look at the settings in a second. And what we can see is that if we go down to the bottom, so this has been trading since the 25th of September. Today is the 15th of August, so it's less than 2 months, and we have a profit of almost 9%, and after the costs, it's almost 8%. So it's probably doing about 4.5% a month, but we're going to look at it in more detail in the FX Blue in a second. And if we look at the settings, now I'm running these completely default. This is a set file that comes with the EAs. I haven't changed anything at all. And what we can see is that in these settings, the money management is set to true. The risk factor is set to 5%. And if we look at the grid settings, what you'll notice is that the grid is set to lot sum. So there are a number of options that you can select from. So we've got the lot sum, the martingale, the all lot sum, and a fixed. So if we look in the user manual that is included in your download, there is a section here on the grid settings. And what we are looking at is we are looking at these 3 here. So the lot sum, the martingale, and the all lot sum. Now, to put it simply, with lot sum, each new trade adds a little more size based on how many trades of the same type, so buy or sell, are already open. With martingale, each new trade is bigger by multiplying the last trade size, so it grows faster. Now, this could potentially be a little bit risky because you could go into a bigger drawdown quicker. However, it can also get you out of that drawdown quicker because it is opening larger positions. And then with all lot sum, it's similar to lot sum, but it adds more size based on all trades. So it's not looking at just the buy or the sell, it will add both the buy and the sell, so any of the open positions in either direction. And for this particular account with the default settings, it is set as lot sum, and these are the results that we can see using default settings. I'm going to show you, before we look at the FX Blue of this one, what I want to do is I want to show you one of the other accounts. Now this is an account where we are running it in a $1,000 live account. You can see that this is a live account here. This is $1,000, and in this account we've made a profit of $32, and that is just over 2 months. The difference here is that I'm only running it on one chart, so I'm only running it on the New Zealand CAD, and for this particular one, I actually created my own settings, or I changed the settings a little bit. Let me show you what I've done differently in this one. In this account, what you'll see is, if you remember the other one, we had it on auto money management. So I've set that to false. And instead of trading a risk percent, I've got this trading at 0.01 lots. So that's a fixed lot. And then on the grid, what you'll see is I have enabled it. So here it is enabled. You'll see that it's true, same as the default settings. But instead of lot sum, what I've done is I've done this at fixed. And what you'll see is the difference is here. If you look at all of my trades, they're all 0.01. Even the recovery trades, for example, we had some recovery trades here, they're all set to 0.01. So that's a few differences. You can see that it is still performing well. So with one chart, I'm still getting 3%, and that is over 2 months. So obviously it is, the percentage per month is lower, but we're also only trading 1/3 of the quantity. Okay, so let's take a look at the FX Blue stats from the account where we are running the three of these together. And I have that right in here. And pretty much as you can see on the platform, you'll see that we have a very smooth line. If we take a look at the equity, what we'll see is that there was a very small drawdown here and another one here. Although this is really small, this went from about 1,026 to 1,011, so really nothing to speak of. But what we want to look at is the assets. And if we go to the symbols, you'll see that we've got the three of them here. If we arrange it according to the net profit, you'll see that the most profitable is the Aussie CAD. Okay, it's also the most active, it's had the most trades. It has the highest profit factor as well, and it also has the highest number of winners. Now this could change, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to monitor this every month, and I'm going to put the most profitable asset onto the live account. So whichever one is doing best in the preceding month, that's the one that I'm going to be trading in my live account. Now, when you trade with any EA, and particularly in a small account, the trading conditions are absolutely critical. You need a broker that is going to give you really low spreads and really fast execution speeds. And that is why in this account, the demo account and the live accounts, we are trading this EA with IC Markets. Now, IC Markets is a huge broker. They have pretty much every platform that you'd need, and most importantly, MetaTrader 5 and MetaTrader 4 for us, because we are trading EAs, but you have other options as well. You've got the web trader versions, you've got CTrader, you've got TradingView. Now, the broker is fully regulated, which is obviously the single most important thing that we look for before we look any further. And what we can also see is that this is a very active broker, so there's about 500,000 trades a day. The servers are with the Equinix NY4 data center. And what's really important, particularly for our type of trading, is that 60% of all trades are algo trading. So this broker in particular is very well suited to algorithmic trading. Over and above all of this, their trading conditions are also really, really good with very, very low spreads. And we can see that their raw spreads start from 0 pips, and you can get leverage of up to 1 to 1,000, which is much higher than I would ever trade. But if you do want to trade a high leverage, you do have that option with IC Markets. Let's go back to the VPS and let's put the EA onto our live account. So here is my new live account. You'll see that I have already selected the Aussie CAD, and here is the EA here. So all we're going to do is we're going to drag it onto the chart. We're going to allow all of the DLLs. We are going to say OK. And you see immediately we had a warning, which is awesome, because what I didn't do is set my time frame for the chart. So let's set that to M15, the time frame that it's supposed to be on. And that is it. We can see that the EA is attached. I'm not changing any settings. As I said, we are going to trade this one with the default settings. And let's leave it to see what it does. Okay, so I will let this account grow. I'll keep an eye on it, and I might add another currency pair at a later stage. You can monitor using the link in the description to the FX Blue track record. And if you want to try the Dark Nova and IC Markets for yourself, you'll find those links below too, including a coupon for a 10% discount on any of the dark years. As always, thanks for watching, trade safe, and I'll see you soon.